Good morning, everybody. I'm Jill Malandrino with Options Profits, your home for options, futures, and commodities at the street. This is what you need to know before the bell on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Markets continue to trade in a low volume, low volatility, trendy environment, making top and bottom callouts frustrating but offering lots of opportunities for the stock pickers. Equities traded mildly higher on Wednesday following President Obama's State of the Union address. Nasdaq volumes were 2% above average and New York Stock Exchange was 1% below average. Biotechs and oil services led the way while metals and mining lagged. Going into trade today, futures are lower by a little over 5. Markets were flat heading into the Eurozone GDP report at 4 a.m., but began to move lower following the contraction. Japan GDP was also weaker, causing traders to flee to safer assets like the U.S. dollar and treasuries. Investors in the U.S. now turn their attention to weekly jobs data at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meet in Moscow today and tomorrow. In corporate news, just announced, Warren Buffett's Berkshire and 3G have announced a $28 billion or 72.5 per share deal to acquire Heinz, one of the Oracle's largest ever. Shares of Heinz are trading higher by 18% in the pre-market. American Airlines and U.S. Airways said they plan to merge in a deal that will form the nation's biggest air carrier with a combined equity value of $11 billion. The expected deal has been more than a year in the making. The new carrier will be the #1 domestic airline in traffic. Cisco reported a solid quarter, but the conservative guidance wasn't high enough to move given there were high expectations going to the print. Stephanie Link and Jim Cramer, co-portfolio managers of Actions Alert Plus, would let the dust settle and add on weakness. They believe the transition to faster growing segments will lead to better margins and higher earnings visibility. The balance sheet is strong and the company expects to return a significant amount of its cash to shareholders, and valuation remains attractive. And finally, in the tech space, Apple fires back at David Einhorn. Adding to more choppy trading in the name is speculation on iPhone 6 release dates. Jefferies, the latest broker with a time frame of June 2014. HP is going with Google's Android for tablets and smartphones over Microsoft's Windows 8 and Windows Phone. As a reminder, I am co-hosting a webinar with John Najarian of Option Monster on Wednesday, February 20th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Join us as we reveal our stock picks in a momentum-driven market. Details can be found on TheStreet.com and on Twitter at OptionsProfits, at TheStreet, and at Option Monster. I'm Jill Malandrino with TheStreet's Options Profits. Have a great week and trade well.